Welcome everybody to the FPL Force, and in this video we're going to take you through a quick run through of how to play Club World Cup Fantasy Football 2025. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here's a stat for you guys. Over 70% of you guys watching are not subscribed. Now, let's make a deal. So in the next few minutes, if you guys get the value that you're looking for from this video, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It would honestly make a huge difference in helping me and my one-man team, bringing you guys more content throughout the season. So, sounds like a deal? Let's get into it. Now, I did say this is going to be a quick one, so what we're going to do is going to go through a quick category is what we're going to go through, and then we'll just take a bit of a deeper dive into it as well. But just to give you guys a little nice summary, not to be reading through things at all, but just to give you a good summary as to like how you guys actually play the Club World Cup Fantasy Football. So let's get into it. So first things first, you're going to have to build your team with a budget of $100, and you'll have around 15 players which you can choose through all different positions as well. So of course, once you've managed your team, then you're going to have to go on to selecting your captain, which is very vital because the captaincy does get double points of whatever he does score. So he is a game changer in your team. Once you have selected your captaincy, there are transfers that you can make each and every single match day, which is what it's called, match day, which does leak into match days 2, match days 3 as well. But this is basically doing some housekeeping in your team, which is what is called managing your team. And this is what you're going to have to do each and every single match day to keep up and maximize. So with the transfers, you can make sure that you're changing formations as well, putting players in and out. And then finally as well, you can also use your boosters, which are special chips that allow you to get extra points based on what you how you actually play them and what players you actually select as well. And then there's the scoring system on how each players actually score points from playing the games. So defenders have different ways to midfielders and strikers as well. Now let us go through the first part there, which is really managing your team there. When you build your team, as I did mention, you'll have about 15 players and you'll have a budget of $100, which you guys have to use, and you'll have to select 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards, of course. Very simple, right? Not so much, because people are, of course, the budget is there to really restrict you from selecting all the best players, so it makes it quite hard actually to actually do that. Now, going on to the captaincy, as I mentioned, once you've selected all your players, of course, within that budget of 100, now you've got a captain that you have to pick for the first match day. And of course, there is a little rule there that you can change your captaincy in one match day. Once the captaincy has played, you can change it to another player who's still going to play on a different day within match day 1, but then you're not allowed to change it again. So that is a bit of the stickler there. So you better make sure that if you do change the captaincy the second time, that it is your final pick for who you believe is the best captaincy there. But once you do make changes as well, that is the thing, is that auto subs will not be working, as well as substitutions. Auto transfers will not be working in that specific match day as well. So make sure that you set your bench properly, as well as making sure you know what captaincy you decide you want to stick with for that match day, if you do want auto subs to work. And ordering your bench, meaning from left to right, put in the one player that you really want to go in first, second, of course, third, lastly on the right. Then transfers, of course, you can make transfers every single match day up to the first deadline, being the kickoff of the actual first match of that actual match day. And of course, you have to keep within the actual budget that you have, which is that 100,000. Now, from what I know, the budget of players will not necessarily increase, but once you go into the group stages, the budget will increase, of course, because there will be a lot of better teams, and of course with a lot better teams you will need a bit of extra budget to actually afford the better guys as well. So you can make transfers every single match day. Then to really managing your team is really just staying up to date with your team and the match days as well, even within the match days and from match day to match day as well, just to see whether or not you do want auto subs to actually kick in, or within the match day you can decide, you know what, that player didn't score enough points for me, I want to sub him in for one of the players on the bench who I think is going to play or score a lot more points than what the player who's already on there as well. So let's talk about the boosters, which is the chips, something we like to call really in our community. And the boosters really, they are basically like chips which you can apply on basically any given match day as well. But the first match day, you're selecting everything as well. You selecting as many players as you want. So it's pretty much like a wild card. So you can't activate the wild card on the first match day. Now, as to what chips there are, there's a maximum captaincy that basically chooses whichever player scores the highest in your squad, in your team on the starting 11. They will automatically captain that player. 12th man is basically, once you've selected your squad, then you can then select any player outside of anybody in your squad that you haven't selected to be your 12th man and actually count within points for that actual match day. And that's really great, because then the strategy there is really to pick somebody that you could never really afford. Then wildcard is basically the same thing as the opening day. You can make unlimited transfers basically for that match day. Mystery booster is going to be revealed on June the 27th, which is just as we go into the last round of 16. So those are the boosters, and just like everything in all the sections here, I have left a link in the description there to the details of every single section that I'm covering here on how to play. That way you can go and read through anything you feel like you want more information on as well. Then last but not least, of course, the points. How do you score points within this actual point system? So excuse me, let me just yeah, since we do have a bit of time there. And then yeah, there's a point scoring system as to how all players can score points, and of course goalkeepers and defenders, and they all score points based on different things, of course, because they're all within different positions. For example, defenders and goalkeepers and midfielders will get clean sheet points, but the forwards won't get clean sheet points. The midfielders will get points for scoring, but because defenders are way back in the formation, they'll get more points. Same thing with goalkeepers, they'll get more points. And same thing with forwards, they'll actually get less points actually, because they find themselves more in a defensive position. So it's about going through the actual points system and seeing as to which is the best way and players to actually select that you think will actually help score you the most points in this in this tournament basically. So yeah, that is basically how you play. Now I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, well, what's next? How do I strategize to actually win the actual tournament? Now that is exactly what I cover for you in this next video right over here. So I will see you guys in that next video. Thank you so much for this one, and don't forget to please subscribe as well. See you guys.